Hey, welcome everyone. My name is Bill. I'm an expat and I live in the Philippines. I'm also a prepper if you've been following my channel. But today's video is a little bit off topic here of prepping, but certainly on topic of me and my wife Raina's long-term marriage and relationship. I get asked a lot about how we've made almost 20 years being married successful. And reality, we've been together for 22 years. So a lot of people have asked, how did I find my partner, and how did she find me, and how do we make it last, right? So I'm telling you today, when you find the right person, you're going to know, and you're going to want to take your time. You're going to want to check things out, and then time will prove you right, as it has with us. Now, some little history on us, as I let some of these pictures scroll in the background here. I've never been to the Philippines before I met my wife, to be honest with you. We met when we were both working in Malaysia, and it just so happened that she was a singer in a band that was headlining at the hotel I was staying at. And a shout out to the Blue Moon in Penang, Malaysia. Miss all you guys. I spent a lot of time in that hotel over the years. But anyways, that's some other history we've had. But anyway, so I met my wife there, and as a single guy of 5 years, and my wife was very beautiful. Naturally, I approached her first, and she didn't want nothing to do with me. And to be honest, that was a very good sign, right? I mean, she literally didn't want anything to do with me. She was there to sing, and that was it. And that was great. That was her trip back then, and I didn't particularly worry about that so much. But as I spent a lot of time watching the band sing and watching them interact, I became friends with the whole band. And we would go out to eat, and after the show at 2 a.m., and we'd go do other things on the weekends. And my relationship with Raina in particular started to grow. And this is one of those things that I wasn't looking for a relationship, I'll be honest with you, and she wasn't either. So we kind of started it off, both of us just making friends with each other first, without any of the sexual tension, I guess is what you could say, or any of that kind of interference when you first try to get to know somebody. And I think that helped a lot. That played a big part in our becoming friends, true friends, prior to upping the level of a relationship. So that time in Malaysia when I first met her, we traded emails, and I went back to the U.S. and did some more work there, and we stayed in communication over a period of 5 or 6 months, and then opportunity arose for me to head back towards Malaysia on some vacation sabbatical time. So I just asked her where she was at, and she was down in about an hour south of Kuala Lumpur singing. So I flew out there and spent some time with her and her band, same bandmates, same friends. And we had a good time. We went into KL. Wasn't my first time there, but we still had fun. Got to check KL a lot. And so we started, getting more and more close. And, I'd say about 8 months of our friendship after this last trip, we started getting a little more serious. And it was interesting because I was starting to feel serious again about getting in a relationship. Something I didn't think I'd do again. I thought I'd be that single guy, enjoying the single life. The reality of a single life is not what you make it out to be when you're married. When you're married, you're like, oh, I wish I was single, or I did in my first marriage. And then when you actually are single for a long period of time, you miss having a true partner. So anyways, not to ramble on there too much. How did we meet? That's how we met. How did we stay in touch? Well, we spent a lot of time communicating online, in email, and Facebook wasn't around back then, to be honest with you. I think we were using Friendster. That ought to date our relationship. But yeah, we stayed in contact online and mutual visits. And then my last trip out there for work, I spent a little bit more time with them. And I decided that I wanted to go to the Philippines and take her and check out her family and stuff. So we did some plans. And, we came out and spent a couple of weeks here. And I got to meet her family, which is quite extended, typical Philippine family of 10, and I got to meet her parents. And it was an eye-opening experience for me because I've never been in such a small province-based town that was extremely small back then. We're talking no gas station, no ATM, no supermarket, no fast food. We're talking about a very small community town out in the middle of what I thought then was nowhere. But I got a good appreciation of where she came from, her background. You know, she can tell me all she wanted, but to come out and see it was actually kind of interesting and fun. So it was, a courtship, right? We spent a lot of it on time, or online, and through emails, and even 20 plus years ago, emails were a thing. I think it was Yahoo is the email I set her up back then again to date us. But there's a new solution out here for you guys that are still looking for someone. And I'm going to tell you that ChristianFilipina.com is my recommendation to find a good, true partner. And I recommend that you check it out. And if you find someone you like, come out and meet them as friends, or chat with them online for a while. Get to know someone really well. Get to know their background, their history. And I think you're going to find that you're going to have someone that's going to be a long-term partner, like my wife Raina has been to me, and I've been to her as well. Now we kind of made a deal, and I did take her to the U.S. and she did meet my parents before we got married as well. So we kind of did the same thing, a little bit traditional. I can't tell you if that would work in today's visa requirement world, but back then it wasn't too difficult to get her a tourist visa for 90 days to come out and visit. We didn't do the fiancé visa because at that time a tourist visa worked, and I honestly hadn't asked her to marry me yet. I wanted her to come out and see how I am when I'm working and see my family and my daughter and, see how it goes on her side of it. So we kind of were fair and equal in that situation. Now, over the years, we've traveled a lot after we did get married, obviously. We decided to get married in the Philippines, so the majority of her family could attend. And expense-wise, it was just a great choice, too. We had a great big wedding, and it didn't break the bank at all. But we found each other, and we communicated online for a long periods of time. And then once we did get married in the Philippines, I did have to wait for the marriage visa to process, and I can't remember what it is at the time, but just because we got married didn't mean she can come back home to the States with me. So she was here in the Philippines for quite a while that process would happen. And we stayed, in communication online. And I came out for a couple of visits. But eventually her visa got approved. And she came and lived in the United States, typical import, I guess you could say. But she got a job, several jobs, made several friends. And we spent almost 8 years together in the U.S. She did get her U.S. citizenship, so she is dual citizenship, and I won't go into all the details on, the process and paperwork for that. But even, being a U.S. citizen full blown, we still stayed together. We still, there was no concern or worry that she'd run off or we'd split or we'd fight. We just pushed on through our relationship, and we did pretty well together. Now, we got to travel the world together as well. She's got to see a lot of places with me. And in the end, we decided that the Philippines was actually the right spot for us to relocate to and spend the back half of our life together. She's a lot happier here with her family, her friends, her batchmates, and everything that she's comfortable with when it comes to food and customs. And me, I got internet and cold beer, so I'm content here as well. But I wanted to just shout out to my friends and my subscribers that are watching. Why am I in the Philippines? Well, it's quite obvious. This is my wife's hometown, right? And I fell in love with the Filipina even before I even experienced the Philippines, and I've fallen in love with the Philippines since. And we've made this our home, and we've been happy. We've had an extremely grateful and good life out here. A lot better life out here than I honestly could afford in the U.S. We might miss a few things, but not a whole lot. We do very well out here, and we enjoy life together. So this is kind of a shout out to my wife if you're watching. I love you today as much as I loved you before. And I want to let people that are single and struggling to understand that sometimes you got to think outside the box and you got to put some work in. It's not just magic. You got to actually find someone, get to know someone. If it's a long distance relationship, chat that person up, ask the hard questions, push the boundaries. And then if you're still, feeling comfortable and happy with each other and you're still interested, then go ahead and move on to the next step. And once again, I want to tell you guys, just don't wait. You don't have to wait. There's an option for you out here in the Philippines. And if you click that link down below, you might discover an option that fits for you just well. Now, I know you guys have seen my wife for the first time in these pictures. And if you notice, she hasn't aged in 20 years very much, where I have aged considerably. And I'm not sure if that's just her good genes or what's going on. But there you have it. Now, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like. If you want to give me a comment down below, at least thank me for almost 20 years of marriage, because that's a challenge and chore in today's world, but it's obviously possible and it's something everyone can do. On that note, I hope everyone finds the love of their life or is with the partner and love of their life, and I hope that everyone be safe. Thank you.